I mean, he help on the shlokas.
Say it again. Yeah. For the prayer?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I will ask Ratnama to do the chanting then.
Okay. Oh, oh, oh. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Param. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yata sarvani bhutani pratibhanti stitani cha yatraivopashamam yanti tasmai satyatmane namaha. Jnata jnanam tata jneyam drushta darshana drushyabhuhu karta hetu kriya yasmat tasmai jnatyatmane namaha. Spuranti sikara yasmat anandasyambare vanau sarvesham jivanam tasmai brahmanandatmane namaha. Divi bhumau tata kashe bahirantascha me vibhuhu yo vibhatya vabhasatma tasmai sarvatmane namaha. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Okay, Dinesh, you want to do the summary, sir? Chapter 9, 10, and 11.
Yeah.
You don't want to show your face to us?
Sure. Okay, I can. Okay, so the chapter 9 relates to the illusoriness of actions and the reality of the self. Last week we discussed about the destiny, and there was a good amount of discussion on that. And really, how our actions are, what we do, it has nothing to do with the destiny. Destiny basically is the result of, in my book, when we do action, karma, we have, as a result of those karma, then we have some results. In some cases, they are good. In some cases, they are not good, and they may be bad, depending upon of our actions. So it's really all on us based on our vasanas, how our mind is make up, how we think. All those things constitute the actions, and the actions can be auspicious action or inauspicious actions. If we do the right thing, auspicious actions, it eventually leads into in the company of the like-minded people, in the presence of the guru, attainment of the knowledge, and hopefully eventual liberation. On the same topic, if we keep doing inauspicious things, then it's going downhill. And basically, what does that mean? It means we get deeper and deeper into our vasanas, and really that only result in the misery. People don't realize it until they are there, but that's what the wise people say. But some people get to experience it when they when they don't realize it. So that's the discussion we had. As far as the origin of sage Vashishta, of course, there's a Brahman, which is the substratum, and from Brahman come uh, Lord Vishnu, and from Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, and then from Brahma, various sages like the Sanat Kumaras, Narada Muni, Sage Vashisht, and all the uh, um, teachers,
Rishis.
rishis who have come along the way. So along the way, also we discuss a number of things. Uh, how to gain that the spiritual knowledge. The spiritual knowledge only gained in the company of the master or the guru. I can only relate to my experience. I started on this journey in 1995. I met Dr. Raghu and others at the temple. We were having a Gita study group, and I stayed with it. Since then, I would say that I'm not the same person. I used to be arrogant. I thought of myself too much. But at least over the years, I have lost those bad qualities, and I consider myself a work in progress. So yes, there's a change there. And along the way, I must mention Dr. Raghu gave me CDs of Bhagavatam, which I have listened to, I don't know how many times, but every time I listen, I gain more out of it. So that's my take on this overall. Hariom.
Very nice. Thank you, sir. So you can see the benefit of satsang, that we all got together under the umbrella of the temple. The Lord Balaji helped all of us to stay together, and with the satsang, as it says in the chapter 11, one develops dispassion to the world. And gradual this dispassion leads us to take us to a guru. And with that knowledge given by the guru, Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, gradually the wisdom comes. This leads to the liberation. So, like beautifully says here in the book, that gradually the Ashubha Vasanas or with our own self-effort, change to Shubha Vasanas. And that Shubha Vasanas, by constant practice, leads to dispassion. And thus dispassion takes us to the Guru. And that gives the knowledge, theoretical knowledge. And by constant mananam and nididhyasanam, it becomes our vignanam, or real self-knowledge, or the what we call the aparoksha gnanam. So, in the end of chapter 11, I just wanted to mention that in the page 142, it talks about the four gatekeepers as the palace for the palace of liberation. What are they? The Shama or serenity, Vichara reflection, Santosha or contentment, and Satsanga or association. You can say that they're not necessarily in that order, that with the Shubha Vasanas, that one develops the interest in satsang. And then naturally, he develops contentment with the objects of the world. Okay, hey, enough is enough. Okay, I know from study of the scriptures and all that, that this is not going to lead me to my real goal of life. That's the thing, the Purushartha. Purusha is that Brahman, that Artha, that he is my goal. So that is the real absolute meaning of Purushartha. The Purusha is that Brahman, that is my final, what do you call, goal. And to reach that, then one has to continue to live a dharmic life and make our Bhagavan as the Artha and Bhagavan as the Kama, then we will reach that final goal. So as it says in 142, all these must be pursued with effort. If you cannot follow all the four, you practice at least one. Then all the other three will automatically come. So I just want to read the last paragraph of 142. It's beautiful. It says, study of the scriptures, listening to their expositions, reflecting upon their implications, and meditating upon the self. These are the methods of developing prajna. That means intuitive knowledge. An aspirant must amass the wealth of prajna in order to destroy ignorance. So it's not going to come overnight. It's not going to come by the touch of a guru. We have to continue to practice. As Gurudev says, I am not a mule guru. Okay, guru is there only to direct you to the path. So very nice. So we will continue and section 12. Okay, Dinesh, you want to read, sir?
Yes. The evils of the world process and the glory of wisdom. Sri Vashista continued, O Rama, just as the ocean is the abode of all precious jewels, so you are the abode of all the great qualities of a spiritual inquirer. And verily, I am the abode of all the qualities needed in a spiritual speaker. Therefore, listen to the teachings of scriptures. All actions and activities cease when Brahman is realized. Realization of Brahman, the Absolute, is the supreme goal of all movements in life. If such a goal did not exist to be realized by the pure-minded, why should one have to go through this painful process of enduring the sufferings of the world? Aspirants would have found it easier just to give up their lives. A snake gives up its skin and glides on. In the same way, a man of wisdom, having given up his mental griefs and anxieties, abides in the absolute self. For him, the world becomes like a magic show. But for one who is devoid of wisdom, this world is the source of all miseries.
Want to comment?
Yeah. So the main comment is here about the miseries here. It is true, this world is full of miseries, and sometimes I can only speak again based on my experience, my observations. I see the people doing the wrong thing again and again and expecting the good result. And to me, it's just, I mean, looking at it, of course, I'm not a guru or anything, and I'm no one to judge anybody, but I try to apply that on myself in a way where if I'm doing something and it is not right, then that is not the right way to do it. Whether it is my sadhana or it is my anything that I'm doing, any project. So I think it's important to understand the basic requirements here and what we must do. And of course, Sri Rama is incarnation of Mahavishnu, so that doesn't need any explanation. Hariyo.
Yeah. There's so much impregnated in those that half a page. So all this, what you call Shatka Sampati, what you call the Sadhan Chatushtaya, Viveka, Vairagya, Shatka Sampati, and Mumukshutvam are the precious jewels. so that one has for reaching the spiritual goal. That if we don't have that goal, as like he says here, Vashista Maharishi, that what is the use of living in this world? No, you might as well commit suicide, and there's no need to live this world at all. But there is a reason to leave this world, and whatever the vasanas we had, for which we have born, we are capable of modifying it and convert them into the Shubha vasanas and continue our sadhana. So just like Lord Krishna told Arjuna in the sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, yes, it is a difficult process, and Kama and Krodha are the ones that keep us in the Ashubha Vasana path, but by proper dispassion and practice, one can attain the goal. So. Okay. Mano Naidu is not here. Karpagam here today? No. And Manusha is not here. Maya, you want to read, Amma?
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Attached to the world is the source of all sufferings. It
Envenoms a person.
Envenoms a person like the poisonous bites of snakes. It slays a person with the sword of agony. It pierces a person with the spear of grief. It blinds a person with the ropes of mental, interpersonal dependencies and burns him with the fires of pain. It blinds him with the darkness of ignorance and knocks him unconscious by hurling the stones of the disillusionment at his head. It robs him of his reason, destroys his integrity, and hurls him into the dark wells of infatuation. It infects him with the white ants of cravings and churns him through the cycles of birth and death. Attachment is a dread disease like cholera because it forces one to identify with the body of flesh, blood, and waste matter. And the web of its contagion is spread out in the form of numerous entanglements with the relatives and friends.
Comment?
Whatever is saying, the truth, the attachment, all those things are with attachment.
Yeah.
Once you don't have attachment, you will not be going through all those, things are described here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it's the very true Swamiji is writing. It is
Yeah.
attachment.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of our sufferings in like a family relations or societal relations and job problems, everything is because of this likes and dislikes, attachment to the world of objects, names and forms. Once if you develops the right attitude towards the worldly things and know the ultimate goal is that Brahman, then all these things become well arranged in our life and our life becomes much smooth. So the earlier we learn, the faster we reach the goal, and earlier we learn, the uh, longer will be our blissful life. Even as a sadhaka, as somebody said, you know, chances of reaching this realization is so remote, it might take several lives. Why do people keep persisting? Because they see the benefit in their own lives. Just like Dinesh said in the beginning, that he sees the improvement in himself. That's why he wants to continue. So the same thing with all of us. So it is the benefit that we see as with the Shubha Vasanas, and so we want to continue the path. Doesn't matter how long it takes. And so the just like I don't know who all attend the Yoga Vasista, not Yoga Vasista, I'm sorry, Ashtavakra Gita class yesterday. It shows once you are in the spiritual path, then you're not really attached to the goal. Oh, I have to reach it, I have to reach it, I have to reach it. Okay. Actually, if you have that kind of thing, then you really won't reach it. Okay. Then you just continue to practice all the qualities of a Siddha Purusha, and the practice makes you perfect, then you become a Siddha Purusha automatically. So, very nice. And is John Siamma here today? No. And Nag? No. Okay. Raja Reddy garu here. Rakesh Kumar, you want to read, sir?
Hari Om.
Finish the chapter.
Okay. Here in this word process, the soul are pelted with the stones of afflictions, cut down by the swords of grief, and thrown down from the cliffs of transient enjoyments. They are burned with the fires of sufferings and chilled in the icy regions of frustrations and fears. They are powdered like sandal paste on the stones of obstacles and driven through the thorny forest of the bitter circumstances. They are forced across the burning sands of adversities and are beaten by the torrential rains of afflictions. They are slain by ignorance again and again through numerous embodiments. How can they enjoy peaceful sleep in a world where they are being choked and suffocated by the forces of darkness? But those sages, O Rama, who are endowed with the armor of wisdom and are devoted to meditation, repetition of the mantra, and the performance of the sacrificial actions. They are not afflicted by the miseries of the word process. They are endowed with the light of a spiritual vision. Being fully satisfied, they live like Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva. Hari Om.
Beautiful. Huh?
Yeah, it's very beautiful because first he's trying to tell you what they go through because we're not going to this 12 path. They give you all kind of messages you're going through. And we see in the life because I can put myself right there because you just go through so many things and you think, oh, it's going to do this time, that next time will go better. But unless you change the path where you are going to go, you are not going to go nowhere because you're in the same cycle, birth and death. You just keep on and on and on. But he says in the last para, he says, in order to the honor of wisdom, once you get the wisdom, devoted to the practice, spiritual life, meditation, repetition of mantra, performance, the meeting with good people, joining satsanga, and you get like a bypass all this and you get the fulfillment of your goal, what you want to go to spiritual life.
Yeah.
I can tell myself because in the beginning, I used to think I can know it. Because about 6 months ago, Geeta told me, I said, I'm going to be next 3, 4, 5 lives. I may get there where I'm going to go. So why? Why you say that? Work hard right now. And that really woke me up. And I started spending more time reading, doing meditation. And I think, like just Dr. Raghu said, Jyotiji's class, because once you have that goal, like, oh, I want to get, you should just keep practicing. And she said, you slide in that stage by itself because you keep practicing and do everything what you're supposed to do. It's automatically going to come. It's going to just take time. Not be impatient. Stay with it. Hari Om.
Exactly. So,
Yeah, Raghuji, I have a question on this. So we said, okay, of course, the attachment is the attachment to the world is actually the cause of all the suffering. But see, the root cause is actually, can we just say that you are trying to find happiness outside of yourself? That is why you are, see, your happiness, you think that your happiness is depend on the outside. That actually drives us to go out in the world and create the attachment. Thus, we get bonded outside world, right? Is actually a good thought process?
Yeah, yeah. But why you are looking for happiness outside?
Yeah, that's right. The happiness, and once you are realized, and the happiness is within you,
Right.
and it is under your control. So then, that knowledge, that ignorance, is actually the cause of this attachment to the
Correct.
world. Correct?
Exactly. Ignorance leads to vikshepa. So,
Okay.
so that is looking for happiness in the outside world, not realizing that happiness is within myself. It's like keeping a precious diamond in my hand and then looking at it as a stone and going around begging or working hard to earn a few pennies. So, not realizing that you are so rich already. So, that's exactly our situation. So, very nice. So, I just want to read a little bit from this book. And let me see, chapter 12. Eighteen to 22. Okay. Here it says from the other book, I'm going to read it, and if you want to stop me, you are welcome to stop me. He says, look here, Rama. On these great sages and rishis, these Brahmins and princes, who having fortified themselves by the armor of wisdom and being liable to no pain or grief, have yet engaged themselves to the arduous affairs of this world with minds as placid as yours. So you can see how we're talking about how the various Raja Rishis lived in this world, okay, with that calm mind ruling the country. Moreover, there are many of the best of men who, with their spiritual light and pure understandings, reside in this world as the gods, Hari, Hara, and Brahma, who are above all concerns and fluctuating desires of life. The journey of this world is delightful to one who, after the removal of his errors and dispassion of the cloud of his ignorance, has come to the knowledge of the truth. As the serenity of the mind and calm repose of the heart being secured, all the senses are subjected to peace, and everything is viewed in equal light. And this knowledge of the truth gives a delight to our journey in this world. So you can see how as we gain this knowledge, theoretical knowledge, as you practice, that it gives serenity and peace and equanimity. And so that sustains us. And so we know we are in the right path compared to our past lives. So we want to continue. Just I want to read the last paragraph. He says, know also that this body of ours is the car, and these organs are the horses. Our breathings are the winds blowing upon it, and the mind is the driver that feels the delight of driving. The atomic soul is the rider who is conscious of wandering about the world. The knowledge of this truth makes our earthly journey a pleasant one. So we have to know that this body is like a chariot, and all our senses and mind are like the reins and horses. And but I am the Atman in it, in this journey. So beautiful. So who is next? Rani, you want to read, Amma?
Ekrundamandi, I am.
We are in page 145. Section 13, we are starting, Amma.
Hari Om Raghuji.
Hari Om. Go ahead, Rani Amma.
Section 13. Introduction to the four gatekeepers. The first gatekeeper, Shama, serenity. Sage Vashista said, having attained enlightenment, sages roam in this world like emperors. They neither grieve during adverse conditions nor desire prosperous conditions in life. Though performing their daily duties well, they are actually non-performers of action because of their inner detachment. The constant recollection of objects and the eagerness to acquire them, these are primary causes for the distractions of the mind. Devoid of these, the mind of a sage becomes like the nectarine moon, abounding with infinite bliss. When the mind is immersed in the bliss of the self, it does not create the illusions of distraction, nor does it run after the vasanas, subtle desires sustained by the ego. It renounces its childish fickleness and enjoys the glory of the self.
Read. Want to comment?
Yeah, it's again, it goes back to the attachment and what are we attached to? Objects, right? And desires of getting this and that. That's not within ourselves. So the more we go outwards trying to find objects that will make us happy, the more crazy we get. But it says the mind is immersed in the bliss. So when you are realized, doesn't the mind disappear, in the sense you don't have those, the mind that we have right now, right? The realized sages don't have the same mind that we have.
Yeah, exactly. So we have to keep on purifying our minds, keep shining and shining and shining our minds until the Atman shines forth.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the great thing that we have to remember. Yes, that once we reach to a certain stage, we should not get carried away and say, "Oh, I have reached the goal." So we have to keep on practicing it and keep on staying away from the worldly objects. So, like I was talking to Shobhanama this morning at Niketan, she was telling, hey, she said, oh, she was telling, I become so much detached. I don't go for any social parties and I don't have any kind of outside friends and all that, like that. It's not that she was complaining, it's just showing that as you get detached, as you get older, and as you develop this interest in spirituality, the outside world gets dropped off. So that's why Chinmaya Swamiji has always said, what is the simplest way for spiritual path? Detach and attach. Detach from the world and attach to your goal of realization.
Yeah, I like that one line, Raghuji. The constant recollection of objects and eagerness to acquire them is the primary cause of distraction of the mind.
Yeah.
So that is actually, that's a very good way of explaining the jumping mind of ours all.
Yeah, that is the what you call ladder of fall that Bhagavan talks about in the second chapter. The what do you call the ayato vishayan pumsaha sangaste shupajayate sanga jayate kamaha kamat krodho bijayate. By constant dwelling on the objects that you develop desire and then attachment. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is what I know. I think in earlier days, as at least I think I know Gita ji writes Rama Rama, right? I think almost. So I think we are actually just our distraction is actually going away and going back to the bliss, Bhagavan's name, and so we can actually reduce the rate. I think that is maybe one of the reason our ancestors actually came up with this idea, right? 1 lakh times Rama kind of thing, correct?
Not 1 lakh,
I know, I
1
know that.
crore.
Yeah, 1 crore. Okay, I don't know the number, but you know what I mean. You see, 1 crore means it's kind of a lifetime, what is that effort, right? So
Yeah, yeah. So, as you start writing, or even if you even keep doing the japa,
one day.
then you start realizing, hey, there's a long way to go, and then naturally your effort becomes more and more intense.
Okay.
And as the effort becomes intense, naturally, without us realizing, we are getting detached from the outside things. Hey, even so-called good things. Okay, hey, I wanted to go to the temple. Oh, I wanted to do this. I wanted to make garlands, things like that. All those things will drop off. Okay, and then your mind becomes single pointed more and more. So,
But Raghuji, but sometime I felt that even if I don't wanted it, the circumstances actually drives you to get engaged, right? That is how, even if you say you don't want to go, then family obligations or friends obligation is actually forces. That is actually how we actually consider, how we actually, uh, mitigate that.
yeah, you are right. It will be there. And that's where our discrimination comes. So you have to decide, hey, because of family obligations, do I still have to oblige to the other people, or can I get out? So just like if somebody invites us for a wedding, then we say, okay, we'll just for an hour or two for the what do you call muhurtam, but you won't come for the reception and all that. So like that. So we still have obligations to the society, but we minimize it. So
Uh,
Ratnama,
Raghuji, one point about acquiring them and eagerness to acquire objects. Sometimes we need those, right? For like, for example, we didn't have a Niketan and we were looking for a place so that we can congregate. Similarly to the university, right? The Chinmaya University. So we need to acquire certain things in order to grow.
oh yeah, oh yeah. So we are not talking of acquiring things which are absolutely necessary,
Mm,
and particularly acquiring things for a good cause. Like I want to acquire the Chinmaya Niketan for the Chinmaya mission activities.
mm-hmm,
That is, we are not talking of that. We are talking of, hey, I want a mansion. Okay.
mm,
Oh, I want this comfortable sofa. Okay. Or I want a matching shoes for my dress.
mm.
So those things we are talking about, not talking of acquiring things for the what do you call?
The greater good, or for the growth of the spiritual growth of the community.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, got it.
I think the easiest thing is always think, as long as you don't me and mine.
Yeah, correct. I and my. Correct. Okay, Ratnamma, you want to read the next two paragraphs, the next three paragraphs, Amma?
Okay. An aspirant must continue to listen to the teachings about the self again and again, and then he must reflect upon that what he has heard. Having rendered the mind one-pointed, he should allow the mind to flow onto Brahman by the practice of profound meditation, listening, reflection, and meditation must be continued throughout one's entire life. For the true purpose of one's existence is the attainment of self-realization.
Go ahead and read the next two paragraphs.
Okay. A person is not really tortured so much by the fever and other diseases, poison or adversities, as he is by the miseries arising out of his own folly. And by listening to the scriptures, this inner folly, ignorance, is removed from the mind. All adversities, even the most humiliating conditions, arise out of ignorance. It is better to live by begging from the lowliest of men, the outcasts, than to live in a life reconciled with ignorance. It is better to be a worm in the hollow of a tree or to abide in the dark well than to live a life of folly. Here, they're saying, Guru, sage Vashista, to Rama, that he is really saying to Rama, Rama is the one whom he's, for the benefit of us, he is going through this one. So sage Vashista can give this wonderful knowledge and get out of this misery of this dream world, which is not permanent. The permanent is the realization of the self. The permanent is the realization of the God. But how do you achieve this? Through, here he has given the 4 gatekeepers and also the Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, reading scriptures and listening to the satsang, and continue teaching self again and again about the self, not to give up the knowing of that Brahman. And then the important thing in life as we are born is to the realization of the self. Yeah. But in life, he says, we are not suffered more than this diseases, poison, adversities, but it is, we are creating all those things ourselves. Yeah. It is not others create, but most of us is created by us only.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ignorance. One must get rid of this ignorance. He even says that it is better to live be a worm than to live a life of folly, ignorance.
Yeah, because the worm doesn't know anything better. Okay. And it lives its natural worm life. But we, knowing that our goal is this attainment of the Supreme, and if we don't practice it, it is worse than a life of a worm. So all the physical diseases, diseases and things like that, they come, okay, because of the environment, okay, like adibhuta and adidhaiva afflictions we cannot stop, okay, but adhyatma, our own mental afflictions, that we should be able to control and practice our sadhana. Very nice. And Shobnama is not here. Sudhir ji, you want to read, sir?
And Raghuji, to add to your point, Gurudev mentions in that Shanti mantra, the 3 Shanti, he says it in a very very strong way. The last Om Shanti is for this this own self. The way he points it and says, it's very strong way he mentions. The Admika part, he says, like, the Om Shanti is for this one to realize.
Right. Adhyatma. Yeah. Yeah. So our own ignorance and attachments to the world that we can control, we have to do our job. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for reminding us. Okay. Sudhir ji, you want to read, sir? Sudhir, did you forget to start the AI?
I thought, okay, when I joined, it said it is recording. It is recording.
No, it is recording, not the AI.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I thought, okay. I'll ask the question. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Men in the world suffer. Okay, sorry. I would say, until the sun of discriminative reason rises in the ferment of the heart, the frost of craving continues to affect the lotus of human consciousness. But with the rising of knowledge, the lotus blooms, revealing the infinite expansion of the self. Men in the world suffers endless miseries due to their own ignorance. Pain follows pleasure, and pleasure follows pain. An ignorant person is constantly let up and down, as if he were mounted on a wheel of a machine. The conditions of pleasure and pain are short-lived, like flashes of lightning. An aspirant should seek the support of viveka, discriminative knowledge, and cultivate vairagya, dispassion, by repeated effort, abhyasa, in order to cross the ocean of the world process. Having entered the transient world, one who does not endeavor to attain the self is like a person who slumbers in a thatched house that is being consumed by fire.
Yeah.
Where he says that we should be having a very discriminative knowledge. Otherwise, right, we are actually if an ignorant person only will have the difference of pain and pleasure, sukha dukkha. And see, once you achieve the knowledge, I mean the real truth, then we will understand that these are all two these are actually there is no distinction between that, right, pleasure and pain.
Yeah.
And it is we always understand that pain follows pleasure and pleasure follows pain, and it is very short-lived, and it is not that is not the real truth. And that is also and earlier we mentioned that all our what is that called, adversities or disease are actually just because of our ignorance of the real truth. So once we realize, once we get this discriminative knowledge, what it says that it actually going to clear our, what is that called, it will reveal the real truth. And that is actually here beautifully says that as like a lotus blooms, revealing its infinite expression of the self. So understanding the truth is actually, I would say, the purpose of our purpose of our life itself is actually a self-realization. For
Right.
that, you have to have a viveka, vairagya, and a repeated effort. That is actually critical, right? When we, and I think earlier, I think, and we discussed that, we keep on reading and, keep on our effort. I think the Jodhiji was actually giving one Swamiji's life work as actually, he, I think, translate Yoga Vashista from Sanskritam to English, and then he burn it, and he gone, and once it is finished, then he start all over again. that means he is actually revealing into it and continuous effort and continuously into it. And so that way he is always in the, what is that called? In that blissful state.
Yeah. Yeah. It would have been good if we could recover that one for the public good. But his goal was, hey, it's my own sadhana. That's why putting in writing all your thoughts is a very good way of doing mananam and nididhyasanam. So that's nice. And even writing a book is like that. It's not writing a book is not for making a profit, okay, but it's for my own sadhana of manana nidhyasanam. And if it helps somebody else, that's a bonus. So
yeah, for maybe people like me, see, once I listen, I may not really get it, and then I have to write it. If I have to come to my room, it will be so many notes, but I don't know whether I revisit it, some of them, but once you write it, I will get, listening and writing is actually very critical.
yeah.
At least for me, some people actually very intelligent. Once you hear it, they will, absorb it. I am not that brilliant. So.
Yeah, for each person is different. So we should do what suits us the best, as long as we are on the same spiritual path. Somebody, like you said, listening one time is enough. Another person like me, you might have to listen again and again and again. And so it's not Shravanam actually. Actually, it is Nididhyasanam. For most of us, we know our goal, we know what our sadhanas are, but we are reading again and again and again. It is reinforcing our goal and keeping up track in our path. So, Uma Shankar, you want to read the next three paragraphs, Amma?
Yeah. When a person develops the inclination towards inquiry into the nature of self-realization, he is ready to attain liberation in a short time. True happiness consists in attaining liberation from the wheel of birth and death. There is no real happiness anywhere in the three worlds. The attainment of self-realization alone brings a person to his ultimate prosperity. Wealth, friends, relatives, diverse forms of religious rituals, pilgrimages, and austerities cannot help a person fulfill the inner urges of his soul. One should inquire into the art of conquering the mind. This is the secret of attaining peace and contentment. By controlling the mind, a yogi experiences the bliss of the self. Whether walking, sitting, roaming, running, or falling, one must continue to enjoy the fruit, intuitive vision, and the blossoms, serenity, and contentment of the tree of discrimination.
Comment? Okay. So you can see how beautifully the thought process of the Vashishta Rishi. Okay. Once you develop that inclination, that is that what do you call it? Viveka, Vairagya, Shatka Sampatti, and Mumukshutvam, okay, for self-realization, then it will continue to push you. So it's so nice that the previous paragraph, it talks about the discrimination and all that, Viveka, Vairagya. And Abhyasa is nothing but Shatka Sampatti, practice of Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, all and Samadhana. Okay. And then the Mumukshutvam, that is the your ultimate goal. So one has to practice. So it's not that we don't get happiness from the outside world, but like Gurudev says, it is only transient, and it is mixed with misery. Misery of have to go through self-effort, and then a short enjoyment of the fruit of action, and then it leaves the desire for further enjoyment. That's another misery. And then you go back and cycle of effort, enjoyment, misery, effort, enjoyment, misery. So how do you overcome it? By getting self-realization, knowing that I am not this, be a mind. Okay. Veena not here today. Okay. Vishwa, you want to read? Oh, Veena is here. Veena read. You want to read them?
Hari Om,
Hari Om.
Prabhuji. Now listen to more about the four gatekeepers at the Palace of Liberation: serenity, contentment, inquiry, and good association. Serenity, Shama leads to the supreme goodness. It is the highest abode, in fact. It is Shiva himself. It is serenity that dissolves the mist of delusion. Nourished by the nectar of serenity, a person is able to transform hatred into love. Even the most inimical mind is transformed into a friendly mind by the magical power of serenity. One cannot even have as much confidence in one's own mother as one can have in a sage who is endowed with serenity. A man of serenity cannot be hurt even by the demons, evil spirits, enemies, tigers, snakes. Wearing the armor of serenity, a sage is unaffected by piercing arrows of misery. The love that is awakened in the heart of a person who has seen a serene sage cannot be experienced even towards the dearest of one's relative. All the actions of such a sage are commanded by all living beings. So here he talks out of all those four gatekeepers, they talked about serenity, contentment, inquiry, and good association. He gives the highest place to the serenity. And to be serene is a acquired state for many of us, can be through meditation and japa and good association. And those people who are serene, nothing can disturb them. They are at peace, within peace. Even a child can trust a sage more because he is serene. Mother can get angry or frustrated, but the sage who is serene all the time cannot be disturbed. And a person who is at peace cannot be disturbed and cannot be affected by the black magic or the snakes or evil minds or anything. So he gives the highest place to the serenity, and being in satsang and meditation and good association can lead us to that stage in life.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Hari Om.
Yeah. So that serenity is that equanimity that person has developed. And that's what, when you are in association with people like that, like Prakashandaji, Tejamanda Swamiji, or Swarupanji, they come, you just sit with them, your mind becomes completely calm. Okay. And what attracts you to them is that they are what do you call projecting that serenity in the surroundings. And even after they leave, that area is full of serenity. And the same thing you say when you go to the temple. When you go to the Balaji temple, Shiva temple in the temple of Atlanta, okay, if you think about it, suddenly your mind has become calm and quiet. Okay. Why? That because of the presence of the Bhagavan. So, and they, what they, other devotees of similar serenity have left their vibrations there. So
That's why, Raghuji, even in that link that I shared, which Swami Sarvapriyananda talks about meditation, he talks about the importance of, I know, as we start initially to meditate in the place where there is serenity, there is high vibration, which brings in calmness in you. Temple is one, as you said, the
right.
caves where, or the places where the, the great yogis meditated, that's
Exactly.
one example I just want to add here.
Exactly. That's why when the great realized masters, they do the pratisthapana of the deity and or build a temple. Okay, that's a completely different thing than Raghu building a temple. Okay, because particularly it is said that when somebody like Raghu builds a temple, they have to follow all the Sthapatya rules. Okay, the god has to be facing like this, and the temple has to be of this size and this dimensions, and all those rules are necessary. But when a realized master builds a temple, all the rules he can break, it doesn't matter. Okay, because he has gone beyond all the rules, and that he has created that spiritual vibrations in the temple and the idol. Okay, that it continues to bless the devotees for centuries afterwards. That's why we see so many of those what we call the Atmalingas, all those things. You know, they were all established by Bhagavan himself, and because of the great devotees that who lived in that areas, and Bhagavan blessed them. So.
Yeah, it is in Kerala. There is one Sri Narayana Guru was there. Normally, in even now also, temples are actually started, or that linga pradishta and all is done by Brahmana, right? He was actually born in, and he is the first one actually started one. A Shiva temple is actually created. He was a realized
Right, right,
man. So.
yeah. Yeah,
Then
those,
now it is one of the Vaikam temple and all is it was his he actually ran a lot of Shiva Pradishtas and all across Kerala,
yeah,
and I think north I think south Karnataka also he is actually did
yeah,
something.
yeah. Yeah, Narayan Guru, people have to read that life story. And once you read the life story of Narayan Guru, you will see how bad that caste system was in Kerala at that time.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably even now it is there in so many small towns that people of the lower caste were not allowed into the regular temples. And so he himself started the temples, and he started teaching the puja for regular people, not brahmanas, and started his own, what do you call, preaching, and what do you call, the Sishya Parampara.
Yeah.
And there was another one who was the one who blessed Chinmayananda Swamiji. I forgot his name.
Sattambi Swami.
Who?
Sattambi Swami or
Yeah,
something?
correct. And they were all contemporaries.
Yeah.
They were together. So
Yeah, I think Narayana Guru actually have translated a lot of Bhashyam. He also wrote a lot of Bhashyam on that.
right, right. So
Atmopadesha Sadagam, a lot of them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a life story of what you call spiritual revolutionary.
Yeah, that's
Very good. And Vijay here today. Vijay is not here. Vishwanathan, you want to read, sir?
Hariom Ragji, sorry, like I'm out of town. I'm at customer side. I will not be able to. I didn't bring my text. Ragji.
Oh, okay. It's okay. And Anjaneyulu, sir, you want to read?
Harivam Raghuji.
Hariom.
Though aware of the faults and deceits of others, a sage endowed with serenity continues to maintain a balanced mind at all times. His moon like face is never depressed or elated, even in conditions of death, war, or prosperity. He is unaffected by fear, attachment, and anger. If one doesn't become identified with the body and doesn't intensify his egoistic vision, even in the worst of conditions or during long lingering adversities, then he is truly a sage endowed with serenity. Among all ascetics, all learned men, all performers of sacrifices, kings, emperors, and men of power, none can excel a sage endowed with serenity. So here it is similar to a person with serenity is like a Sritaprajna of our Bhagavad Gita. Sukha Dukkha Samay Krutva. So all, Sritaprajna is unaffected by both Labho, Sukha Dukkha, all these dwandas. So he's beyond dwandas, and he's unaffected and he's in a peaceful state, and also always enjoying the Rama of Atman. So Atman, Atma Krida, yeah.
So, among all ascetics, all learned men, all performers of sacrifices, kings, emperors, and men of power, no one can excel that sage, because he is a realized man, has attained to the state of serenity. That is the reason you see all the stories of the great kings. As soon as the sage like Vishwamitra or Vashista comes, they give their throne to sit and sit at their feet. Why? They realize that the material wealth and power is nothing compared to that spiritual attainment. So, very nice. Okay. Is Ashwin here today? No. Okay. Nuligar, you want to read, sir?
Hariom Raghuji, I'm here.
Oh, Ashwin. Oh, go ahead, Ashwin. Section 14.
Okay. Hariom. The second gatekeeper, Vichara, spiritual enquiry. Sri Vasishta continued, O Rama, a wise aspirant should practice enquiry into the nature of the self at all times. When reason is purified by enquiry, it glimpses the truth of the divine self and thus eradicates the root disease, ignorance, which is the cause of this world process. There are various forms of enquiry. By inquiring into the illusory nature of the pleasures of the world, an aspirant develops vairagya, dispassion. He inquires into the mysteries of karma and upasana, action and devout meditation, in order to purify his mind. With increasing mental purity, he listens to the meanings of the scriptures from a spiritual preceptor. Thus, Vichara promotes the art of listening. Shravana listening matures into Manana, reflection. Reflection on the nature of the self is the most intensive form of enquiry. Continuous flow of mind towards the absolute, Brahman, is the fruit of the constant enquiry. And this fruit yields the nectar of self-realization.
Want to comment?
Yeah, in this particular section, Swamiji or Sri Vasishta is talking about, the second gatekeeper. So in the previous section, we saw about serenity. In this section, we are talking about vichara, spiritual enquiry.
Right.
And beautifully, it explains the different forms of enquiry that we have. So, vairagya or dispassion, which is reflecting on the world, objects, senses, mostly outward. So we reflect on that, and we slowly start developing vairagya, dispassion towards those objects. The second inquiry is about, karma and upasana, so action and devout meditation. So again, the more we do inquiry, that leads to purity of mind. We do karma yoga, we develop bhakti, devotion, and that leads to more mental purity. Slowly, that also leads to, listening to scriptures, like as like Dinesh ji was saying at the start, and Rakesh ji. The more you go on this path, you want to continue. You see the results of it, you want to continue, right? So you see the positive results of it. So so that leads to more understanding the scriptures, Shravana, Mananam, and then eventually reflecting, spending Niti Dhyasanam. And that is said is that's the most intensive form of inquiry.
Yeah.
And all this is going to lead to the absolute Brahman, which is going to give you total bliss.
Yeah.
Hari Om.
Yeah. So the last paragraph is written in italics is actually the Swamiji's commentary on it, not a translation from the original book. And so he's showing how one should do the Vishara. Once you have the, what do you call, sadhana chatushtaya sampannata, then you have become the serene. That with that serene mind, one has to do the, go to the Guru and learn and do the Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam. So, this is, as you as your mind becomes purer and purer, as he says, the vichara promotes the art of listening. So you constantly dwell on it, and then as your mind becomes purer and purer, and the inner meanings of this knowledge becomes open up to you like a flower. And so,
Raghuji, I have a question here.
pardon, Vishwa?
Raghuji, I have a question here. We talked about self-effort earlier, and then we're in this. It talks about the Chitta Shuddhi, Chitta, Egagravi comes as you attain the serenity, and through the Shravanamana Nidhyasanam, through satsangs, and when you find the right guru. But all that happens. Does it happen through self-effort, Raghuji? Like or it is the prarabdha.
No, it has to be self-effort. Yeah, prarabdha is there in the sense that if you had done this kind of inquiry before, but had not reached the goal in the past life, okay, then that manifests as prarabdha because of your interest in spiritual path. Okay, but that is because of what? That's because of past effort. So, like whatever that effort that you put yesterday is not going to waste when you go to sleep, and that effort, the result of that effort is there today, and you continue. The same way, the effort of the past lives, okay, they will continue to manifest now, and then you continue from there, not from the bottom of the ladder.
Raghuji, yeah, I just said I was actually thinking of the same direction of what Vishwaji that it was mentioning. We say, for example, even for us, right? At least, God's grace or our path, our prarabdha karma, we are actually in a situation to spend every Friday 1.5 hour for our spiritual progression in this satsang. But there are a lot of people actually are not fortunate enough to have that, right? The financial stability, family stability, or else physical health stability. All those things actually have to come together for a sadhaka to just to get to an opportunity to say to even sit in front of you, right? So, and also we have to get it to we have to get in touch with the right people. Say, for in my case, I was doing volunteer work some 10 20 years in a temple, but I haven't had a good friend like Anjanji and who's actually drove me to in front, at least I would say he just literally dragged me into this. Okay. So these are all kind of because those are all, I think, kind of related to what Vishwaji was saying, that prarabdha karma has a good and a play into that, right?
Yeah, yeah. That prarabdha we have to remember. Prarabdha is because of what? Of our own past effort.
Pastor.
It's not like something that came up from nowhere. So that because of that prarabdha, like Bhagavan says in 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, prapya punyakrutan lokan ushitva shashwati samaha suchinam srimatam de gehe yoga brashto bijayate. So because of the prarabdha, because of the vasanas and the punya karmas he had done, he goes to the heavenly worlds, enjoys the results of his actions, and then comes back and being born in a rich family with what do you call with a pious family.
Right condition.
Okay. That is the most important. The pious family. Okay. That way, you don't have to worry about, hey, where is my food going to come tomorrow? That I have to put effort to go and earn and all that. Okay. So you'll be born in a rich family, but at the same time, you have all the spiritual inclinations, and your atmosphere in the house and your neighborhood and all that will be congenial for your continuous spiritual growth.
I do agree, Raghuji. Like, we always tend to catch upon the words like destiny, fate at a high level. But as you said, it's if you go in depth, the scriptures, that's what takes you so in deep that ultimately it's the effort. Whether if you did the good effort in so many lives, that is going to sprout.
Yeah, correct.
I totally agree, Raghuji.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. So who is next? Nuligaro?
Yes, sir. Hewn down by the sharp sword of inquiry, this forest of adversity does not sprout and flourish anymore. When one has lost a dear relative or has met with a terrible calamity, his intellect becomes clouded by delusion and his mind restless. During such conditions, wise men take recourse to inquiry in order to allay the sufferings of the heart and to determine the right course of action to be adopted in life. By the power of inquiry, the intellect gives up what is inauspicious and tends to what is auspicious and enlightening. There is no raft more stable or efficient to take one across the turbulent stream of misery than the practice of inquiry. By using the power of reason, great men are able to choose a course of action in accordance with their strength, capacity, and ability in any given situation of life. Only the line of inquiry can destroy the elephants of delusion that threaten to crush the lotus of discriminative knowledge in the lake of the heart. So this is again, all the three paras he's talking about the inquiry, and the inquiry, if you do the right way, the inquiry, it gives you a lot of mental peace, because with the right inquiry, you understand what is the suffering of the thing and what is the real or unreal. And again, in the second para also, it's more or less the inquiry gives the right understanding in the intellect, the inauspicious, and tends to auspicious and enlightening. And of course, he describes about the raft, which is like comparing with the inquiry, which takes you into the realm of serenity.
Yeah.
By using the power, great men are able to choose their actions in accordance with their inquiry.
Yeah, yeah. So that inquiry or what is it that I am doing? So that inquiry, vichara, we have to practice in every aspect of our life. Like when I'm doing a job, when I'm working for some company, I have to do, hey, why am I working for this company? What is my goal? What is my duty? So you can see, not just in the spiritual path, okay, even our job at work becomes spiritual by doing the proper inquiry. Okay, yes, I'm doing it for earning. Okay, but at the same time, I have to give more than what I take. And so I should do my work 100% or to even 200% better. Okay. Why? Not only I'm doing my best, but it also gives me what do you call happiness by doing the best that I can. And so when I go home, I am more serene and calm. Okay. And whatever that I am earning is not for pleasure. It is as a karma yoga, the result of karma yoga, that is for the sustenance of for the family, parents, society, and all that. So suddenly you can say how the attitude has changed. The same way, when he does the pujas or japa and all that is done for purity of the mind by proper vichara, not to get any punya to go to the heavenly worlds. So you can see every aspect of our life that vichara helps. And all this comes from satsang and the study of the scriptures. So how they are all interdependent. Okay. And Maya, you want to read, Amma? Oh, I'm sorry, Dinesh. Dinesh is there. Dinesh has to read.
Okay.
Great man, hang on, yeah, great men of all times attained mighty kingdoms, immense prosperity, and unimaginable power. All these were the fruits of the wish-yielding tree of vichara, inquiry. An intellect that is purified by the practice of inquiry does not sink in the waters of adversities. Rather, it floats above all adverse conditions like an air-filled raft. All miseries in life are the flowers and fruits of the tree of irrational intellect. Want of inquiry excels collyrium in the blackness and is more intoxicating than any strong liquor or alcoholic drink.
You want to comment?
Yep. So really, the first thing, the greatness of any person is exhibited during the time of adversity, really. I mean, when the times are good, people behave, it's obvious they're happy and everything is going great. But during the time of adversity, when things are not going great and everything is lined up against you, then it's how people behave that is more important. I
Yes.
think that is something to remember. And all like the gurus, they maintain their equanimity. They are experienced, they know, they have learned all that, and that is the key. And I consider that to be a test, because as we are progressing in our uh, journey, time to time, we are given these tests. Sometimes you pass it, sometimes you fail it. Nevertheless, they are the steps to learning and making progress. How do you?
Yeah, yeah. You can see the contrast between the first paragraph and the third paragraph.
Yes.
By practice of proper inquiry, not only the one gets the spiritual goal, but even in the material world of mighty kingdom, prosperity, unimaginable power, all these are the result of proper inquiry and action, not just a chance. Okay. But all the miseries of life are also because of the inquiry, but improper inquiry, irrational inquiry. And that is the difference between a sattvic inquiry and a tamasic or rajasic inquiry. So that's why in 17th and 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, you see the contrast, sattva, rajas, and tamas in various aspects, like a dhruti, the intellect, the karta, the karma, all those things you see that is so beautiful for us to evaluate ourselves, all those things. Okay.
See, on that, see, I don't know, any emperors actually, they get immense prosperity and unimaginable power just to because by what cruel or I don't accept. I think Sri Rama. Other than that, right? Almost all the kings are actually attain their power because of their egos and cruelty. Then once they become a king, emperor, yeah, probably they will change. Otherwise, almost all the emperors are actually, I would say, for me, they're all cruel people. They just they kill, they will have their own people who will get killed, and they will kill the opposite people to just acquire land.
Yeah.
Land and power, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a complicated thing that I don't know if I want to get into that one. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the reason a benevolent king, okay, is the best thing in the world. But unfortunately, what happens? The power corrupts. And so that's why you see if you read the whole Surya Vamsha, all those kings who lived from the time of this Manvantara, okay, in the beginning they lived such a wonderful life, okay, and the people were very happy, okay. And here and there that you see a king was born that was what do you call the worst ruler, and even the rishis had to what do you call go ahead and kill him, okay, by giving a shapa, okay. And gradually that knowledge got lost, okay. And that's when Bhagavan Krishna had to reintroduce it through Arjuna. So, the ups and downs, and I feel the same thing happened in our own India in the last 1,000 years. Okay, like 1,000, 2,000 years ago, if if the kings were righteous people, okay, then you would not have Alexander invade, or Muhammad Ghazni wouldn't have invaded 7 times. All those were because of what? Our own kings, because of power and jealousy and hatred, that they did not have the power to protect the people. So, okay, I don't want to lead it further. Maya, you want to continue?
Hari Om. Okay. When the lotus of inquiry blooms in the lake of the heart, one shines like the mighty Himalayas. Such a soul manifests sublimity, locked character, mental stability, and divine realization. The mind of person who lacks inquiry is filled with dullness. Even the cooling moon can strike such a person like a thunderbolt. Just as a child is afraid of non-existence ghost, so a dull-witted person is afraid of numerous illusory projections of his own diseased mind. Irrationality is the storehouse of all misery in life. An aspirant must curb this evil quality of the mind by the practice of inquiry and by the promotion of rationality in his life.
Rationality.
Rationality. Sorry, my eyes are not doing good today. So in his life, yeah.
Want to come?
See that, yes, is beautiful. I remembered one thing when Swami Sarup, Shardanandji was there lecturing, and this thing came and like a person's, strikes like even a moon can be strike like a thunderbolt. So he was saying that one guy was in his deathbed, he was about to die, and somebody has suggested for him to read Gita, and they were reading, and he said, "Stop it, let me die in peace." So I remember that.
Exactly.
So that is the same thing as here says that even the cooling moon can strike a person like a thunderbolt. So
Yeah.
I remember that one exactly.
Yeah.
So if you are not inquiring and if you are not serene mind, it can happen to you that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Today I want to stop here, though there's only one more page because I got a meeting at 9 o'clock. So I want to prepare for that meeting. Okay. And it's a very beautiful discussion. And who is supposed to do the summary next class? Maya, you want to do it?
Yeah, I can do that. Thank
Okay,
you.
very good.
Okay,
Om
from where to
Sarve-
where?
Huh?
What page to what page?
From 142 to 150.
Okay, 142 to 150. Okay, I'll
Okay.
do it.
Or 142 or 143.
Chapter 12.
Yeah, 143.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Yeah. Okay.
Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramaya. Sarve
Sarve
Bhadrani
Bhadrani
Pashyantu.
Pashyantu.
Ma
Ma
Kaschid
Kashid.
Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Hari Om, everybody. See you all.
Hari Om. Thank you all. We will meet again next
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay.
Hari
Hari
Om.
Om.
Hari Om.
Hari
Thank you,
Om.
Rudraji.
Hari Om Guruji, Hari
Thank
Om
you,
Guruji.
everyone.
Hari Om.
When are we shifting this thing to Tuesday, Raghuji? We were actually thinking of that, right?
I think Geeta has got a couple of more classes, and when it is done, I'm going to mention it.
Oh, okay.
As soon as that Hanuman Chalisa is over.
Okay. Thank you, Raghuji.
Hari Om Andi.
Hari Om. Namaskaram.
Hari.
2:30.
Manoj didn't show. Manoj didn't show.
Try to leave.
On the door. Okay.